Today we're going to be taking a look at the AK-47 and some of the best situations you can use it in, a comparison between some of its top mods, and an overall use guide for this weapon. And let's jump into things by taking a look at a base AK without any mods. And right off the bat, you can see that this weapon has a pretty good rate of fire and a really nice damage output. If we put it up against a Frenzy Giant, we need to position ourselves a few times, moving back a bit, but even a base model AK is really good. Now, where things start to get really interesting is when we equip the AK with some of its best mods, and it takes this weapon to the next level. This becomes one of the best guns in the game, and as you can see here, we do not even need to reposition when taking out a Frenzy Giant. It completely just melts its HP bar. I would say that the AK, if you're looking for a quick terms of reference, is a bit under the SCAR, but a well bit over the M16. And this weapon's power really stands out when you start modding it. So let's take a look at some of the best mods for the AK-47. And I would recommend for your magazine going with a large magazine. Sight ×4 is your best option as well. These are not cheap mods. As you can see, there's a lot of carbon composite and factory parts, although modified muzzle brake is one of the best value mods that you could pick up for this thing. And at the end here, I did list the grenade launcher as the other best mod, but I think you could make a case for the knife mod as well. And I was lucky enough to unlock both of these and craft them, so I thought we would do a bit of a comparison. And let's start off with the grenade launcher. The grenade launcher is very useful when you've got a large group of slow-moving enemies, or you've got enemies that you're able to predict the path of and get a bit of space between you and them before you use the mod. If you do use it in close proximity, you are going to take a lot of explosive damage yourself, and I definitely died quite a few times right when I unlocked this mod. As far as the mod's durability impact, it takes away about 10% of the AK's durability each time you use it, and the recharge time on this mod is also pretty long. We did deal 77 damage against all three of those Savage Giants, which is pretty good, but if I was to compare this to another top tier gun mod like the Spreadshot, I would place it a tier below that mod in terms of utility. That's not to say it's a bad mod, and it is very useful if you do not have a lot of grenade launchers, or even if you do. Now, as far as the knife skill, as you can see, the blind one takes reduced damage when he's in his defensive mode, but with the piercing blow active skill from the knife mod, we are able to bypass that armor and deal a total of 18 damage. So this skill isn't incredibly useful, but it doesn't take much durability, it's quick to charge, and it does bypass armor, which is nice, and we could see more utility for it in the future. One more piece of info about this mod is that it weighs less than the grenade launcher, so you will have a quicker movement speed, as the grenade launcher does weigh your character down just a little bit. The knife mod is also a lot cheaper to craft than the grenade launcher, but at the end of the day, it's really up to you, and it depends on what other mods you have. If you already have Spreadshot, for example, I don't know if I would go for the launcher. Now, even a partially modded AK is a top tier weapon, and it is something that you're going to want to save for the endgame content in Last Day. Don't use these weapons at alpha, but it all depends on your individual situation at the end of the day. If you've got racks and racks of AKs and other guns, then use it a bit more freely, but I would definitely save this weapon for the likes of Bunker Bravo and other really difficult content. If you want to see the AK mod infographic and other mod infographics that I've created, head on over to pressingx.com. I've got a bunch of mods covered now. That'll do it for this episode, and if you're interested in more informational and Last Day on Earth content, I've got over 20 informational videos in my LDOE log playlist. Lots of good content over there. As always, thanks again for watching, and have yourself a great day.